Don't tell nobody, but my congri, or my moro negro, is the best. Look at that color.
What's for dinner?
Hey everyone, I'm Chef Z and welcome back to another amazing episode of Chef Z Cooks, where today we are actually making one of my all-time favorite rice. We are making Cuban style congri, which is essentially Cuban black beans cooked together with white rice. Now hear me out. This is a dish that is enjoyed by many cultures. In fact, my Dominican family makes this rice all the time, and we actually call it something different. We call it moro de habichuela negra or moro negro. Now, regardless of what you call this dish, just know that it is so good. Now, you might be experiencing some deja vu because yes, I actually shared this dish a long time ago, and since then I've actually updated the recipe, and today I'm sharing my updated recipe where we're actually making this rice from scratch. Now, one of my favorite things about congri is its dark, rich color. I just absolutely love it. Once you make it this way, you're gonna make it like this time and time again, because not only is it delicious, but it's actually not that hard to make. Now, without further ado, let's go ahead and get started.
Cuban style congri is honestly one of my all-time favorite things to make. We're gonna start off by using some raw black beans, and you definitely want to rinse them under some running cold water. Now, I typically do this about 2 or 3 times. Now, one of the great things about using raw black beans is that you actually get so much more for your money. Once we've rinsed the black beans, we're going to add that to a pressure cooker, and we're going to roughly add about 4 cups of water. Now, I typically like to also add some fresh onions, a Cubanelle pepper, but a bell pepper will also work, some garlic, and some bay leaves. Now, you can definitely pressure cook the beans without all of the veggies, but I find that adding the veggies definitely gives the beans some really good flavor. We're going to pressure cook this on high for about 45 minutes. And once those beans are fully cooked through, we're going to very carefully release the pressure. And once your device gives you the okay, we're going to take out all of the fresh veggies that we've added. Now, hear me out. Using raw black beans is honestly the secret to making your congri come out really nice, beautiful, and deep dark, which is how I personally love it. The other great thing about using the raw black beans is that you get this beautiful beanstalk that you see right here, which is once again liquid gold and the secret to making the rice come out really nice and dark. So once you've drained all of the water, you definitely want to set that off to the side, because we're definitely going to be using it throughout the rest of the recipe. Now, when it comes to the rice, I do like to use long grain white rice, but you can also use medium grain. And like any time that we make rice, I always make sure to rinse it a couple of times, about 2 or 3 times, until that water comes out more or less clear. Now, I know that there's a huge debate as to whether or not you should rinse your rice. I find that you actually get better results anytime you wash it. We're now going to take a very large pot, and you can use a Dutch oven. I'll make sure to link some of my favorite ones down below. And we're going to saute all of our fresh veggies. So we're going to saute some onions, some pepper, some garlic. We're going to add some kosher salt and black pepper, because that's going to help everything sweat. And then we're going to mix everything until it's well combined. And we're going to saute it for about 2 minutes. And then we're going to add our softened and drained black beans. Now, you can definitely use black beans that already come softened in the can, but I'm telling you, there is a big difference. Once we saute the beans with the veggies, we're going to go ahead and add some seasonings. So I'm adding some Dominican Orégano and some cumin, and you guys know that these are some of my favorite ingredients. We're also going to add some chicken bouillon cube, which is also going to give the rice some really nice, awesome flavor. Now, say you wanted to make this dish completely vegan, feel free to substitute the chicken bouillon for some kosher salt. We're also going to add some tomato paste, and we're definitely going to work that in. And now we're also going to add some more bay leaves, and we're going to add that bean stock. Now, let's say that you pressure cook the beans and you didn't get enough bean stock from the pressure cooking. That's totally okay. Do not freak out, because you can add some water and really stretch out that bean stock. The important part is that the bean stock not only has flavor, but it has so much of the rich color, which is really going to elevate this dish. So once everything has started to simmer, we're going to add the rinsed white rice into the pot. Now this is where you also want to pay really close attention, and you want to continually mix the rice until that water has dried and you're going to hear a little crackle and pop. You want to continuously mix it because you don't want the rice to burn at the bottom. Yes, we love con, but we want to keep it to a minimum. Afterwards, we're going to add some fresh cilantro, and that is really going to take this rice to the next level. We're going to cover the rice, and then we're going to place it on the lowest possible setting. We're going to let it steam cook anywhere between 30 to 40 minutes until that rice is really nice and fluffy. You want to go in at the end and you want to fluff up the rice. And you guys already know this Cuban style congri is a must with some of my other Cuban favorites like ropa vieja, vaca frita. Buen provecho, guys.
Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today. Now, if you want the nitty-gritty details and you want to follow along step by step, be sure and visit my website, chefzcooks.com, because I have you guys covered. Join the Chef Z family so that you don't miss out anytime I post an all-new video. And you guys know the drill. If you want some inspiration on what to cook next, I have so many more recipes that you can click right here.